What is up, everybody? JD here. Got a cool budget knife to check out today. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, we have the Fintiso Toucan in this week. This is a really interesting little knife. G10 scales on top of proud steel liners. You have a crowned 14C28 in blade that you can deploy via a flipper tab or via thumb studs. You have a steel fold over deep carry pocket clip, not reversible, and a little bit of bling on the back there for those of you that think that a lot of the knives that have come out recently are very boring. You got a very nice Warncliffe blade shape on here, a little bit of a raise so it's not perfectly straight. 14C28N is your blade seal, and this is a very thin blade stock. Now, this has been going through the pass around, so it did need a little strop before I did some cutting with it. But once I did, 14C, really easy to strop back to factory fresh, and it had, again, nice geometry, good factory edge angle. The only thing that I noticed was that the plunge grind edge termination is not the best. It is okay though, but for the money, not too bad. Ergonomics were fine on this one. I did notice the pocket clip a little bit because it is, while done nicely for carrying, a little bit big. So where it does kind of shrink down out on the back here, you do kind of feel the pocket clip grabbing on there. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a hot spot, but is it the most comfortable? No, it's definitely not the most comfortable. The access to the lock bar is good here. Again, it is a little bit light on the blade, so it does require a little bit more force to kind of shake it closed, but the detent is tuned well, and it does fire out when you go to deploy it, so I do like that about this one. Jimping here on the back, again, crown spine. I think that's a nice little touch at a budget knife price point, and I do appreciate the black G10 bolsters here and the little bit of unique design around the Fintiso branded pivot. So a little bit different there. You do have some milling internally to reduce the weight, which we'll check here in a little bit. And all T6 hardware, except in the pivot, if I recall, I think it was T8. Let me double check that. Yeah, T8. And I'm pretty sure when I checked this, it was, yeah, T6 all the way around. Just making sure that my memory is serving me well. And then once you take the scales off, it looks like you will probably be able to get to perhaps some additional hardware that's underneath the G10 scales. The G10 scales are really cool on here. Not only are they slightly contoured, they're chamfered well, and then they have a really unique finish to the pattern here. Almost kind of looks like a wing. So I do appreciate and like that. How about we do some size comparisons, guys? All right, here is the Fintiso Toucan compared to the Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight and my Vero Engineering Mini Nova. And as you can see, this is more of what I would consider a smaller EDC. Still a 4-finger grip, but it is a little bit smaller than the Manix 2 Lightweight and a little bit bigger, just ever so slightly bigger than the Mini Nova. All right, guys, here is another size comparison against my Kentucky Holler Jack. This is a traditional pocket knives exclusive, modern traditional, and an SOG Power Pint. Love the Power Pint for a daily carry multi-tool. It's a great compact size that's going to be very potent for its size. And then we'll just open the SOG Power Pint here for a open size comparison. So, potentially could be a nice loadout because you have a companion carry, main carry, and then a multi-tool to take care of any small tasks that you may encounter throughout the day. All right, we got the scale out and on, guys. We're going to do the weight on this one. I'm thinking like 3.5 ounces, 3.1. And it is slender, so that does kind of make sense. And it is heavily milled on those nested steel liners, so I think that helps reduce the weight a lot. So I really do like that. 3.3 is a very solid weight. All right, time for my final thoughts and impressions for the Fintiso Toucan. I do grade on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest. But I do cap budget-friendly material knives such as this one at a 7. So the 7 would be absolute perfection for a budget knife. So do keep that in mind on this score. What I take into account are aesthetics, which is subjective, price point, fit and finish, ergos, and cutting performance. Then Fintiso has a lot to offer for the money. There are a few things for me. I would have passed on the jewel in the lanyard hole here and would have just had this been a standoff and moved this be an internal standoff like up higher and had that float back. I think with the way that it's designed, you could have cantered it and it would have avoided the blade's edge. I do like the weight relief internally and the fact that this sits flush. These liners are flush liners, so you got some good strength there, good access to the lock bar action. A little tight, but I think if you were to take this apart and clean it, it'd probably smooth out. It's a pass around, so I personally can't do that. Detent is tuned well. Edge termination, not that great, not awful, but you're gonna create a smile. With this one here, I think the stop pin, is a pressed stop pin, so it moves with the blade. So you could just take it and extend the edge there, a little edge termination there a little bit, and it would be fine. And I think that would do you well. I like the crown spot on here. I think that's a nice touch, and the jimping's done well, so you can get a nice comfortable grip both in the pinch grip and for normal regular cutting. A little slender back here, a little pokey back here as well where that pocket clip is. So for me on this one here, I think I'm going to be at a 5.3. Solid score, very good considering that 7 is the max. So you got to take that from that perspective. So I do think that this scored very well, especially for the price point. I think with a few little tweaks to that, you could move this up and it would start to climb its way into the 6s with some of those changes, which would be an outstanding score for a knife with budget-friendly materials. Let me know what you think about the Fintiso Toucan down in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, a like would be appreciated. I will have an affiliate link that helps the channel for this knife if you're interested in checking it out down in the description below, along with all of my other affiliate links. And when you use those guys, it does help the channel. That's totally up to you. A special thank you to my channel members for that loyal support that you provide. It does help tremendously. I'm out of here. I hope you have a great week. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.